Today's video, we're going to use Nokokopuffs' tweet in order to bounce off and dissect pro and streamer and content creators' perspectives of Apex Legends and kind of breaking them down and going and putting it up against my normal perspective and seeing if what their nonsense and rhetoric actually means something and where they're coming from, so we can find a middle ground and bridge moving forward, because I believe Season Defiance is going to be a pivotal point for Apex Legends as we reach to year 3. So my name is Flame078 and without further ado, let's get to it. Now I'm going to take a brief moment to introduce my perspective and my side, so that way the following things that I say can be taken with a little bit of seriousness. And I know I may become off as a nobody, which I am, and I may become off as a casual, which I'm not. And that's kind of where I want to start. I said normal particularly because in this channel I promote tips and tricks like Noko, for example, to improve in Apex Legends mechanically and to, for the most part, grind ranked. The biggest difference between when you guys hate casuals and me, the normie, and other normies like me, is that unlike casuals who don't understand meta conversations, who don't understand high level play, I and other normies do, because we may not game as much, but I'm trying to improve in this game every day. I dissect your guides, I dissect pro opinions, I change up my playstyle to improve mechanically, to grow as an Apex player. And as a side note, it's so cool, I'm about to start following this dude, seeing a fellow engineer being a pro in Apex. There's hope for me. There's hope. Anyways, that aside, I'm 100% on board with Noko we need to really be paying attention to the releases of these legends, because there is a huge diversity problem creeping up in terms of playstyle of the legends, in terms of, kit, in terms of power creep, which I know is going to be a very difficult thing as more legends come out. But overall, it's concerning. And the first thing that from this tweet, is kind of true. We have to be very careful with damage abilities. But my hesitation and grievance comes from the fact that we're filling out these supposed roles or classes for legends and forgetting one specific one, right? He's right that the last couple of legends have done some type of damage. Ashe a little bit, Seer at first, Valkyrie and Fuse are good examples of just, legends that kind of give you a little bit of damage with their tacticals and not a lot of other things besides, let me kind of push. Let me explain. Defensive legends, I think we're in a good spot. Assault legends, we have way too many. Maggie, I assume, is going to fall into that category. Recon legends, I think we're good. And support legends, a role that is, I think, super crucial in a game like this that is completely being left on the wayside. And my biggest problem, minus the whole damage ability thing, is it's promoting a singular mindset to play this game. A mindset of, I gotta fight, I gotta get kills, I gotta push, I gotta be aggro. And I don't like that. I like the ability and I like seeing different ways to play this game and being viable. And as a caustic main, I'm going to say main, even though at this moment I'm learning other legends because I've branched out since then. But Noko, why you gotta get our boy nerfed? Nah, I'm just playing. The nerf was needed, hear me out. The biggest thing that I've learned with the caustic meta, and normies and casuals need to understand, is that he has been in prime spotlight consistently. I know people are going to disagree, but it is the reality. I personally felt that Caustic took a huge hit with his last nerf, because the conclusion that I came out with was his gas wasn't a deterrent and he wasn't able to hold any power position because people would just push through, at least from my level of play, which, being generous, a low diamond, but realistically high platinum at the moment. In those lobbies, you just saw people eating Caustic. However, if you were to actually look at the pick rates from way back in pro tournaments and whatnot, Caustic has been kind of up there for North America specifically. Top 4, the fourth top pick legend in North America for the winter circuit. He was, the 10th, I believe. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7th pick in Masters. But then in the championship, which mattered, this is where he was prime shit in my eyes, he was still the 4th picked legend. And even in the playoffs currently, with now the added buff, he's top. So pros are absolutely right in the sense that, okay, it is time to shift him away. My biggest problem, though, is they just don't like him because they're assholes. And they're not applying the change universally because it's like a little small give or take. It was my biggest thing with when Revtain became a thing, right? It was kind of nice to be a little bit aggressive versus the always slow, meticulous kind of play style. But obviously that had its own problem. But people were just so up in arms instantly that they let things like play out for a bit. And bringing it back to Caustic, I like with the barrel change, yes, he is in line with other defensive legends, but not fully because Gibby is still super powerful. And I'll get into him more in a second, but you need to apply the same kind of changes across the board. If we're talking about barrels need to not be a permanent fixture, because there's no counterplay because Watson and Rampart have counterplay in their fortifications. People can still breach, and Caustic is now in line with that. Then Gibby has to go in that, and his dome needs a health bar too. Which leads me to this whole idea of I'd rather have legend meta balances and counterplay with different legends. And what I mean is I'm okay with a Caustic being countered by a crypto. I'm okay with, X countered by Y. I'm not the biggest fan of using the legend to counter the legend, if that makes sense. Right now, a Gibby counter is another Gibby, meaning if you want to grow and succeed, apparently with this pick rate, you consistently need to have a Gibby player. And to me, that's a problem. But streamers and pros don't want to talk about it because they're happy the way it is. Or so we're led to believe sometimes with the way they tweet, even though PvP suggested the health thing frequently to Gibby's dome. I'm all about fresh, exciting new metas, and I'm excited to see where this is going, but we have to be very careful and be careful with what we're saying. Bring back gun skill and situational awareness. Bro, what are we talking about, man? That hasn't left. When you look at these compositions, the cheesy one is Caustic, which is being addressed. But then Valkyrie, right? I think we've seen complaints about her because she does reduce situational awareness because people are now putting themselves in bad spots and get out of jail free card, which was a Wraith, right? That was a problem with Wraith way back when, right? She would get in there and then they messed up her queue, so that way it's not a get out of jail free card, it's a repositioning tool. And that's really harps back to the diversity of Apex Legends because we're not seeing other legends role be, hey, let's move from A to B, or let's be support. All of them revolve around this idea of I need to be a fragger. And I don't like that. But because everything is being pushed to be fragger, I'm at a loss where have we lost gunplay and skill? In the highest of levels, it seems these compositions are fairly balanced where you have to be, like a Valkyrie Gibby crypto, I feel like that maximizes your situational awareness, man. But I get it. Maybe there is something that I'm missing where there's cheesiness involved, where high-level players are getting killed by mid-tier players more frequently than I am led to believe. I don't know, because of the cheesiness. We're not talking about weapons right now. We're specifically talking about legends. And lastly, as we wrap up, again, with being careful with what we're seeing about legends and wall hacks, come on, man. The last 5 legends, you're 100% or 99% sure that, they all had wall hacks. Ashes is a ping, dude. Where's the wall hack in a ping? It reduces situational awareness. I give you that, but there's no wall hack there. Seer, obviously, that's one. Valkyrie doesn't scan you last I checked if you're in a building, so not a wall hack. And Fuse and Horizon are in an interesting position due to the fact that I feel like their wall hack is a necessity because of the visual clutter their ultimates provide. So are you saying you want to rework the ultimates or what? Because I feel like the wall hacks are as a benefit in order for you to capitalize on the fact that you just threw a black hole or a ring of fire around someone, so that way you can capitalize and shoot them. I don't know. I definitely don't agree that they're on the same level by any means of a Seer, Crypto, or Bloodhound. So that's also my problem too. Like, we need to stop equating all these different levels as the same and presenting them as such, because that's a problem. But that's just me. Those are just my thoughts. What do you guys think? Like I said at the beginning, I think Season Defiance, Season 12, Year 3 of Apex Legends is going to be very pivotal. I am very much concerned about the creep of damage abilities and what they're doing with pushing fragger after fragger after fragger, when we can be pushing more support and more rotational legends into the mix. But overall, that's me. Let me know. I'm Flame078, the normal gamer, and I'll catch you guys real soon.